Have you felt it lately, that stirring in your spirit, that quiet voice deep inside whispering that something is about to change? You can't explain it, but you know you can't stay where you are anymore. Everything around you feels unfamiliar. Doors are closing, people are drifting away, and yet something inside you knows this isn't the end. It's a beginning. This isn't confusion, it's confirmation. God is saying, pack your bags, my child. It's time to move into your next season. You've prayed for a sign, and this is it. You're not stuck, you're being shifted. You're not lost, you're being led. What's coming next will make sense of everything you've been through. So listen closely, because this message isn't random, it's divine. Chosen one, God is speaking to your spirit right now, saying, it's time. You've been standing in the same place, fighting the same battles, and asking the same questions, but deep down you can feel that something is shifting. What used to satisfy you no longer does. The things that once made sense now feel heavy and out of alignment. That's not confusion. That's divine transition. God has been preparing your heart for this moment, whispering that your current season has expired. He knows you've grown restless, and that restlessness isn't weakness. It's a signal. Heaven is stirring something inside you because you're being called higher. The time for staying still is over. You've completed your assignment where you are, and now God is saying, pack your bags, because I'm taking you somewhere new. You may not know where you're going, but trust that God's hand is guiding your every step. The shift won't make sense to those around you, but you don't need their understanding. You need obedience. When God says move, it's because He has already prepared what's waiting for you ahead. This season is changing, and you can feel it. The atmosphere around you is no longer the same. The conversations that once brought you peace now drain you. The people who used to understand your heart now misunderstand your silence. That's because God is separating you from what no longer fits where you're going. Every time you tried to stay where you were comfortable, He allowed discomfort to grow stronger, not to hurt you but to push you forward. The doors that are closing are not punishments, they are divine protections. God is saying, you've outgrown this space. It's time for more, and even though you might be scared to let go, He's reminding you that faith is never comfortable. He's not just changing your surroundings, He's transforming you from the inside out. This season isn't about settling, it's about stretching. God is stretching your capacity to receive the blessings He's prepared. What you're feeling isn't loss, it's spiritual growth. The shift is necessary because the next chapter of your life requires a new version of you. Before God takes you anywhere new, He prepares your heart, your mind, and your spirit. You can't step into your next season carrying the same baggage from the last one. That's why this season may feel like stripping and pruning. You're being refined for where you're going. The relationships that ended, the doors that shut, and the delays that frustrated you, all of them were part of your preparation. God is teaching you to travel light, because what's ahead will demand strength, focus, and faith. The next place He's taking you won't require more effort, it will require more obedience. You can't carry fear into faith. You can't take hesitation into destiny. God is saying, leave behind what weighs you down and make room for what I'm about to pour in. He's filling you with wisdom, endurance, and divine clarity. When the time comes to move, you'll move quickly because preparation brings readiness. God doesn't just send you into a new season, He equips you for it. And right now, He's preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. Chosen one of the hardest parts of stepping into your next season is the separation. This is where God begins to pull you away from what's familiar. It's uncomfortable because your heart still remembers the comfort of what was, but your spirit already recognizes that it no longer fits. You may find certain people suddenly distant, conversations that used to flow now feel forced, and connections that once felt divine now seem to fade without explanation. You might even wonder if you did something wrong, but you didn't. This is God's doing. When God is about to elevate you, He first isolates you. He knows who can go with you and who cannot. Not everyone is assigned to your destiny, and not everyone can handle the weight of your anointing. Some were meant to help you build the foundation, but not to walk with you into the fulfillment. God allows this separation not to break you, but to protect you. He's filtering your circle because the next level requires purity, focus, and discernment. You can't carry people who secretly envy your calling, nor can you keep ties with those who drain your energy. The truth is, some people are connected to your past version, not your future one. When God says it's time to move forward, He often removes the voices that kept you comfortable where you were. The silence you feel now is not loneliness, it's divine focus. God is tuning your heart to hear Him clearly without distractions. You may cry, you may question, but understand this separation is not rejection, it's redirection. The people walking away were not removed out of cruelty but out of calling. God saw things you didn't see, heard conversations you didn't hear, and recognized intentions you couldn't sense. He knows the journey ahead, and He's making sure only the right ones walk beside you. So if someone suddenly exits your life, don't chase them, don't beg anyone to stay who God is calling to leave. Every goodbye is making room for divine alignment. God is calling you to trust His pruning process. The pruning feels painful because you're losing branches that once bore fruit, but He knows they're no longer healthy for where you're going. Just like a tree, you're being trimmed so you can grow stronger, higher, and bear even greater fruit. You might feel isolated right now, but you're not alone. Heaven is surrounding you, even in the silence. You're in a sacred season of preparation, and God is removing distractions so you can see clearly what He's building. Soon you'll look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was actually protection. Those who walked away weren't meant to witness this next version of you. They couldn't understand your calling because it wasn't theirs to understand. Chosen one, this separation is divine. God is setting you apart for His glory. He's shifting your environment, cleansing your atmosphere, and preparing the right people to meet you at your next destination. The ones who are meant to walk with you will recognize your spirit. They will carry the same fire, the same faith, the same hunger for God. You will not have to chase alignment. God will bring it to you, but before He connects you with the new, He must disconnect you from the old. This is your pruning season, and it's painful because it's personal. Yet every cut carries purpose. God is saying, don't look back, don't mourn what I removed. I'm making room for what's greater. You are not being punished, you're being promoted. The separation is your confirmation that elevation is near. Stay faithful, stay grounded, and trust that the one who called you out will also lead you into the promise. Chosen one, transition is never easy. It's the space between what was and what's coming next, the middle ground where nothing feels stable and everything seems uncertain. This is the place where your faith is tested the most, where God begins to stretch you beyond your comfort zone. You've left one season behind, but the next one hasn't fully revealed itself yet. You may feel lost, confused, or even forgotten, but this in-between place is holy ground. God hasn't abandoned you, He's building something within you. The silence you feel is not absence, it's preparation. When you don't hear His voice, it's because He's already spoken, and now He's watching to see if you'll trust what He said. Every transition has its tension, and right now you're being pulled between where you were and where you're destined to be. You're being reshaped, refined, and rebuilt. You're shedding old layers of doubt, fear, and dependence, so that when you step into your next chapter, you'll be able to handle the weight of it without breaking. In this season, you might notice doors closing faster than you expected. Opportunities you thought were guaranteed may suddenly disappear. People you relied on may distance themselves, and plans you carefully made might fall apart. Don't panic. This is not chaos, it's coordination. God is rearranging your steps so that every detail aligns with His divine timing. You're not being delayed, you're being directed. This is where your trust becomes real, where your worship becomes deeper, and your patience becomes strength. God is teaching you that faith isn't built in the arrival, it's built in the waiting. When everything looks still, that's when He's working the most. The transition may not make sense, but if you could see what He's aligning behind the scenes, you'd stop worrying and start worshiping. He's removing what could crumble under the pressure of your next level. You're not losing, you're being refined. Every great move of God requires a season of transition. Before Joseph reached the palace, he endured the prison. Before David became king, he faced the wilderness. Before Jesus began his ministry, he faced 40 days of testing. So don't despise the in-between. It's where character is forged, strength is developed, and destiny is solidified. The discomfort you feel now is the evidence of transformation. God is not punishing you, He's preparing you for visibility, for responsibility, for purpose. The waiting is your classroom, the silence is your training, and the delay is your development. You may not see it yet, but every tear, every test, every sleepless night is producing something eternal inside you. When God transitions you, He's not just changing your surroundings, He's changing you. He's stripping away the version of you that survived your old season so that you can become the version that thrives in your new one. Chosen one, hold steady. You're closer than you think. The frustration you feel is the final stretch before breakthrough. The pain you're carrying is the pressure of birthing something new. Don't rush the process. Let God finish what He started. The place you're standing in right now may feel uncertain, but it's sacred. You're not stuck. You're being shifted. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. Every step, every delay, every detour is leading you to the exact place God designed for you. This is not the end. It's the bridge. You're crossing over into promise. And when you finally arrive, you'll look back and realize that this transition was never about loss. It was about transformation. God is saying, trust me, I'm still in control. Your obedience in this moment is the key that unlocks your next season. Stay faithful, stay grounded, and keep moving, because the place He's taking you will make every moment of waiting worth it. Chosen one, this is the moment everything begins to make sense. The waiting, the separation, the tears, the loneliness, none of it was wasted. You have finally arrived at the place God has been preparing for you all along. You may not recognize it right away because it doesn't come wrapped in the comfort you expected, but you'll know it by the peace that settles in your spirit. What once felt like delay was divine direction. What once felt like loss was divine exchange. God had to take you the long way so you could learn how to carry what He's now placing in your hands. The weight of this new season requires wisdom, maturity, and humility, all the things He built inside you while you were waiting. You'll begin to see doors open that no man can shut, opportunities flow in without striving, and favor follow you effortlessly. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every lonely night has positioned you to stand strong now. You are walking in what you once prayed for, and even if it looks different than you imagined, it's better than you expected because it's God's perfect plan, not yours. As you step into this new season, you'll start to see why God removed certain people and closed certain paths. He knew that what's ahead required purity of heart and strength of spirit. The ones who left couldn't go where you're going because they weren't equipped for the altitude you're about to reach. You'll notice that things that used to overwhelm you now roll off your shoulders easily. That's growth. You're no longer reacting from fear, you're responding from faith. You've matured, not just spiritually, but emotionally and mentally. The transition built endurance in you, now that endurance is turning into power. You've learned how to listen to God's voice even in silence, how to move without fear, and how to trust His timing even when it doesn't match your own. You've become stronger, wiser, and more discerning. You now carry a quiet confidence, not in yourself, but in the God who brought you this far. The arrival is not just about stepping into a new place, it's about stepping into a new version of you. The one who doubted has been replaced by the one who believes. The one who cried in confusion has been replaced by the one who walks with clarity. You've been tested and you've passed. You've proven that your faith isn't shallow, it's rooted. You've shown God that you can be trusted with more influence, more purpose, more responsibility. Now, as He opens new doors, you'll carry His presence with you into every space. People will notice the glow on your face, the peace in your tone, the strength in your posture. They'll wonder what changed, but you'll know the answer. You finally became who God called you to be. Chosen one, you've arrived, but this is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. You're standing at the threshold of destiny. Everything you went through was training for this moment. God has placed a crown of endurance on your head and a mantle of purpose on your shoulders. Walk boldly. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are refined by fire and strengthened by faith. You are living proof that obedience brings elevation. Now, as you step forward, remember, every battle you faced prepared you to help others find their way. This new season isn't just for you, it's for those connected to your calling. You carry light now, the light of someone who has seen God's hand and survived His process. So walk tall, chosen one. You've arrived not by chance, but by purpose. And as you move forward, heaven moves with you. The doors are open, the favor is flowing, and the promise is here. This is your time. Chosen one, God is confirming His word to you right now. Deep inside, you can feel it, that stirring in your spirit, that quiet knowing that something has shifted. You've prayed for signs, and lately everything around you has been whispering the same message: it's time. The restlessness that kept you awake at night, the sudden disinterest in things that once thrilled you, the urge to start fresh, all of it is divine confirmation. God has been speaking, not through thunder, but through gentle nudges in your soul. Every time you tried to settle where you were, He sent a holy discomfort to remind you that your assignment there is complete. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door wasn't punishment, it was direction. He was guiding you, step by step, into alignment with His will. You may have thought He was silent, but He was orchestrating everything quietly, behind the scenes. And now, you're standing in the moment where His plans start to unfold before your eyes. This is your confirmation. You're not crazy, you're not imagining it, and you're not off track. You are right where God needs you to be. There have been moments when you questioned if you heard God correctly. You wondered if you missed His voice or took a wrong turn somewhere along the journey. But every time you looked for reassurance, He sent you signs, through scripture, through songs, through unexpected words from others, through the peace that suddenly covered you when you decided to trust Him. That peace wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. God is saying, yes, I told you to move. Yes, I told you to let go. Yes, I told you something greater was coming. You don't have to beg for another sign. The signs have been all around you. The divine interruptions, the sudden shifts, the unexplainable protection, all of them are proof that His hand is upon your life. You've walked through fire and didn't burn, through storms and didn't drown, because His purpose wouldn't let you fall. That's not luck, that's calling. That's God's confirmation that you are chosen, covered, and guided. This is the season where everything that once confused you will start to make sense. God is about to reveal why you had to walk through certain battles, why certain people left, and why the waiting took so long. He's confirming that every loss was necessary for the victory you're about to see. You've passed the test of faith. You kept believing when it would have been easier to quit. You trusted Him when you had no evidence. And now He's saying, because you believed me in the dark, I will bless you in the light. This is the moment heaven acknowledges your endurance. Everything you've prayed for, fasted for, and cried for is aligning. Doors that were once shut are opening easily because you've proven that you can handle what's behind them. God's confirmation is not just in the signs, it's in the peace that no one can explain, in the strength that returned after every storm, and in the clarity that now fills your heart. Chosen one, God is saying, pack your bags, it's time. You don't need to fear what's next. The same God who guided you through the wilderness will walk you into the promise. You're stepping into a divine appointment, and every detail is already in place. He's confirming that your journey was not in vain, your obedience was not wasted, and your faith was not ignored. This is the confirmation you've been waiting for, the moment where your spirit finally exclaims, "This is it." Go forward boldly. Trust the timing. Move with faith. What you've been waiting for is now unfolding. Heaven has already approved your next step, and the evidence will follow your obedience. The confirmation isn't coming, it's here. This is your sign, your message, your reminder. God has spoken, and it's time to move. Chosen one, this is your moment of confirmation. You've waited, prayed, and endured long enough. Now heaven is saying, move. It's time. You don't have to understand every detail, you just have to trust the direction. Every tear, every loss, every delay was preparing you for this exact season. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you're stepping into destiny. When God says go, it means the path has already been prepared. So walk boldly, walk faithfully, and walk knowing that you are covered by divine favor. The same God who brought you through the last storm will carry you into your next victory. This isn't the end of your story, it's the unveiling of your purpose. The doors are open, the path is clear, and the promise is waiting. God is saying, pack your bags, because I'm taking you somewhere greater. So take a deep breath, lift your head, and move forward with faith. You've been chosen for this moment, and your next season starts now.